What's up, guys?
So,
My name is Lusterling. I am here today with a special guest for the VIP podcast. I am really interested in bringing on people that I have met along the way. And so I want to introduce you to my friend James. He is a filmmaker, a producer, a writer, and a lot of other things. And so, yeah, James, I'd love for you to tell us like who you are in the world
yeah.
and how do we put you into perspective before this conversation?
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me, first of all. Like, I love this. I love this kind of stuff. And you are a formidable artist, kind of a force of nature. And I've just in our past conversations, I really value your relationship with kind of the other side and like bringing stuff here into the world for us to enjoy and appreciate. And it comes from such a pure place. Uh, I just really value that about you. And I'm super honored to be here.
Thanks, James.
Yeah, I am. I guess just a creator in general. I don't really. It's taken form of movies. That's where I'm at now. I've always loved movies and stuff. But even in just sort of my average jobs and everything like that, I've worked in some warehouses and I've worked in the food industry, all these different things. But anytime I'm there, it's initially pretty lame. But I always, I always find the creativity leaks out through something, whether it's I made quesadillas at a barbecue restaurant one time and they ended up putting them
Nice.
on the menu. And at the warehouse, I used to like Photoshop, managers' faces and put them on the wall and stuff. I'd put their faces
Yeah.
on like the Avengers or something and put them on the wall. And it would like make people laugh. And it gave people something to look forward to every day in this cold, dark industrial
Right.
environment. So I guess just a creator.
Yeah. It's who
Is
you
that
are.
it?
So it's going to come out wherever you're at.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. Yeah. Sometimes it's like being in a pressure cooker, and it's like, but you find a new way or it comes out in a new way and it's like, oh, didn't know that was there.
Is that what
So
your film is? It was just like being in.
I think so. I think so. I always wanted to, yeah, I can tell you the movie. Um, I think the movie is the most purest form of expression of that. Kind of where I've gotten to of my like I'm not a musician. I love music, but I can't really make it. Something about movies and rallying people together. I love the camaraderie that comes with it when we're out there making it. My brother and I, we're wrapping up filming. My brother and I drove to a swamp, like an actual swamp 2 days ago. And I was out there, we were both in our costumes and I got like a fake prosthetic mustache. It's not even a prosthetic mustache. It's like eyeliner. And cause I can't grow a jacket. I'm wearing like this coat with like this wool collar and it's just super
And it's
hot.
100 degrees in
Yeah,
Texas.
at a muggy
Yeah.
swamp, and we're out there with the camera just in the middle of the woods, and just people see us, and they're like, "What are these people doing? What are these guys doing?" But it's fun. I wouldn't trade it for anything, and I wouldn't really sacrifice it for anything either.
So, one second for context, I want to create like a little timeline just
Yeah,
for my brain and because I think this is funny. So, and for the listeners, so I met James on set a year and a half ago, right? So, separate lives, separate people, did not know each other. And there is an art gallery, or was an art gallery in Tyler, Texas. And James and some of the film crew were there underground, right? Y'all are on the
oh
bottom
yeah,
level. Yeah, down there in the bunker. And we're in the middle of a scene, right? Or we're wrapping up filming or something.
yeah,
And I come down the stairs to film a music video down there. And I'm kind of walking around and I could hear people. I'm just thinking, like, what's going on, So that was, let's see, February 2024. And where were y'all in the process? Like at that point, I know, so my brain's having like 10 tabs right now, but like, I'm thinking in terms of how I produce a music video, right? You
yeah,
kind of map out, like, I need these clips, I need these scenes. So, like, where were you in the production process when you were filming that
yeah,
scene?
yeah. Well, we had it's been probably a 5 year grand total process for this movie. And at that point, we had our bearings. We had like everything written down. I think we had the story in general. And so that, um, yeah, we were just filming a scene that I wrote, and we, we've gotten so used to it. My brother and I, we can go anywhere and turn anything into a set. And that's what we were doing that day. My friend Gordon, T. Gordon Mayhall, I'm sure you've obviously met him. He was a kind of a beacon for me early on to get into film and acting. And I don't forget people at all. And Gordon, every script, I think every script that I've ever written, Gordon's got a spot in it. He's got something different that he could chew on and like really put himself into. And so that day was Gordon's kind of like big scene. And we went in there. Thank God for Aaron. He let us like go in there and build the set. And it was like there's so much stuff in there, just random stuff. So we're like, it was like a field day for me. It's like, okay, we got this character. This is who this guy is. And oh my God, we can represent his mind with all of these random doors. And there's already messages written on the walls. And it was just turnkey.
Yeah.
So we were there, and Aaron told us, like, yeah, there's a musician coming in after y'all at like 2 p.m. or something like that. He's like, so we'll just, be, kind of wrap up by then. And so we were in there, and I think we ordered pizza and going through it and everything. And then 2 p.m. rolls around, and there was this pressure. We met a guy the day before, or the last time we were there filming, and you just never know who you're going to encounter. And usually people show up, and it's just kind of a weird, awkward thing. Like they're there to take senior pictures or something. It's not really another artist. And so that's what we were doing. And then you showed up, and we just kicked it off. It's like, oh, you're here shooting a music video? And it's like, there's all this. It was just feel that artistic kind of connection. It's like you're following the same kind of thing that we're following.
Yeah.
Kind of linked to the same.
It very much felt like I don't know how to explain it, but like I don't often meet people who, like, I know they're painters.
Yeah.
Or like, but I feel like it's different when it's like there's this big massive thing that you're working on and you're in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And I felt like I just walked into the middle of it.
Yeah.
Like I met you in the middle
of
this thing, and I felt so like
yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Like, cause yeah, I think I have super supportive friends, and they might understand the creative aspects of me or whatever, but they're not building these like massive projects, and they'll listen to me talk about them. It's not, but to like just have that instant like, wow, like I see what you're doing. I appreciate, like, I don't even know the whole story, but I get the vibe of what's happening here. And I was in the middle of mine, I like showed up randomly well, it wasn't that random, but I mean, just, it was a cool.
Yeah. And it's super rare. It's super rare to find somebody else that yeah. I talked to a friend of mine after we talked about doing this. I talked to a friend of mine a day or two after that, and we were talking about the having a vision and having something that you're pursuing. And sometimes it's just like, hey, it's just I'm the only one that can see it. And so even with the movie, it's like everybody's a part of it, but nobody can see like the end of it. It's like, okay, you want me to say this? That makes no sense. Let's go, or let's do it. We're filming this. Okay. I don't know how it's going to work, and when you're in the middle of it, it's like the only thing you really have to do is to just be faithful with what's in front of you and do that, and then the next thing, and then the next thing. But yeah, it's a lonely world, but there are other people out there that understand it. And sometimes, it's made like you're with music. You've produced all your own music, and you've learned how to do all that. You're like an entire team, packed into one, but you've learned how to do this. It's like an army, but it's like a one person army. And there are people out there like that, and that's a relief. And I was feeling, even like last week, I was feeling some of that pressure and just that kind of like, man, this is it's kind of lonely. It's like I'm the only one that sees this, but I can't wait to finish it. So then people will finally see, like, oh, that's what you were doing. Yes. But I had that, and then I was taking my daughter. We were school shopping in the mall, and one of my buddies owns a store in the mall, and I stopped by. I was like, wonder what he's up to, because I know he's kind of got the same. He's in the same kind of boat, with a lot of stuff, and I'll just go by and encourage him with the stuff that I need, that I feel like I could use. And I went. We just talked about it, and when I was like talking to him, like, dude, just keep going at it. Like, it will pay off. And you'll come out of it with this tenacity and like resilience that you'll and this self-respect too. But
Yes.
as I was telling him that, I'm like eating it myself too, and I'm like, yeah, because you can't tell somebody else that and not accept it for yourself. Like, why not? But it was just people need to hear that.
Yeah. I
And
think that's, well, go ahead.
no,
You were gonna
you're
say.
good. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, that's the number one reason why I wanted to start a podcast, because I feel like there's conversations like this and things that need to be said for people who are in similar places that need to hear it.
Yeah.
And I feel like, well, I mean, maybe I just exist in a vacuum, but everything I've seen is like people make it to a certain point where they have a certain type of success, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going down the success hole today,
Yeah.
but like what society views as successful, and then they're talking to, here's what I did, here's what worked for me.
Yeah.
And they're speaking from that space of like, it's already done and you can get here. But I'm like, there are so many people who, one, that's not success to them. Two,
Yeah.
they're doing something totally different and they're in the middle of their own trajectory of
Yeah.
what that looks like for them. And it can be very isolating. And then I've noticed myself, like, well, this happens in my work a lot, or things I share, but the things I end up sharing is like what I wish someone would have said to me.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
5-10 years ago, like, hey, Caitlin, like, it's just like what you were saying just a second ago of like when people can't see what you're doing,
Yeah.
and you have to kind of become your own coach in a way of, I trust me, I know this is possible, I know no one else can see what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
But and it does take time, and so I'm glad that you brought that up, because that's, well, one, why I'm doing this, and two, it's why I asked you, because I
Yeah.
was like, I know James of all people would totally get this. So like, so you were saying this has been a 5-year process for you.
Yeah.
And what started it? I know that's a loaded question, but
Yeah.
was it like this idea you had one day? Was it I've always wanted to make a film? Like,
Yeah.
what started the project?
It was it's okay. I say this is a culmination of like 5 years of work. The movie, it's like probably my lifetime. It's I think it's like a declaration, or a what is that word I'm looking for? A monument to. I finally found out what I'm supposed to do, and I grew into the honesty of that, and I've accepted it, and I've shaken off anything counter that's been put upon me by systems or people or anything like that. That's what this is. It's like, hi, you made it. You did it. You did what you were supposed to do. And for me, it started off like when I was a kid. I was a weird kid. My mom even she told me this like as a year ago. She's like, you were a weird kid. It's like, oh, thanks. It's a badge of honor. But I was, and I wasn't like, I was thinking about this. Golly, the past couple of days have been pretty wild for me, and I've had to lay out a lot and process things. And like, even where I'm at, it's like, well, what kind of voices are in your life right now? But it took me back to like growing up and things like that. I always had this. I mean, I played with like action figures as a kid, so I was already making mini movies just in my own
Yeah.
like stories and stuff. And then my brother, when he was born, I would make up these stories, and we would play with our action figures or go out play in the woods and stuff together. And uh, I always had that little piece of, I guess, storytelling or whatever it was. And I grew up with the only movies that I had as a kid were like the Star Wars trilogy and Batman, the 1989 version. And I would just like stop, rewind, and just watch them all the way back to back all the time. That's probably influence. But growing up here in East Texas, there's like zero that people don't understand that kind of stuff at all, vastly here. And so I was thinking about this yesterday in like junior high. I had one of my best friends. He was like, "Yeah, let's go to basketball camp together." And like, you know, his dad was like, "Yeah, y'all can play together and you can get better." I'm like, "I'm not good at basketball." He's like, "Well, that's what basketball camp's for. It's going to be great." And I went and I sucked. I was awful, uncoordinated. And then high school, I had a cousin. He's like, "Hey, play football. You'll get a lot of respect, you know, when you come to high school, and you'll have like a pass on stuff." And I wanted to please these people and like be a part of something. Like, okay, yeah, my cousin will be proud of me, you know. I did that. Awful, terrible. But I've done that my whole entire life, even stuff up until like even this year. And I'm even presented with stuff at this moment that I'm just now starting to catch it and say, is that you? Is this really you? Are you doing this? Are you being honest? I call it being honest. And I think it's a little test that I'm about to pass, you know. But I've always growing up, you know, it's always been a war of that. And even when I like graduated high school and I wanted to pursue the movie stuff. And I've got a movie story I can share. I don't know if you've ever heard my movie story before about my first
Well, I don't
movie.
know.
You might have.
Oh,
But
maybe, but you can tell it again.
okay. I can. It's just a religious experience.
It's up to you.
Yeah, I'll just it's my yeah. Well, when I graduated high school, I was when I was really getting into like maybe I could do this stuff, and I was branching out into other movies like independent films and stuff like that, and just the art of it and the process behind it. And yeah, when I graduated, I prayed. I'm like, I don't know what I'm talking to or whatever, but I'm just throwing this out there. Like, put me in my first movie by the time I'm 28 years old.
Okay, yeah.
I was like, put this, just threw it out there, and then I pursued it, and I met Gordon. This is when I met Gordon, my friend, and they were doing these acting classes in Athens, Texas, where I'm from, which there's nothing in Athens, Texas, right?
Right?
And it was weird, but this acting teacher from California, who he was like a direct student of Sanford Meisner, who was a famous acting coach. Anyways, he just showed up to Athens. I don't even know why he was there and did acting classes in Athens, Texas. And so it was me, Gordon, and just like a handful of other people. And I ended up getting to drive this guy to Austin and back every other Tuesday to do classes. And he like covered I didn't have to pay for my acting classes because I drove him and
That's
hung out
nice.
with him. And he was
It
like,
works out.
70 something. And so even on the drives, we're talking about acting and movies and just random stuff. But it fell flat. There was nothing happened out of that except I got some experience. And then it got to the point where I had to, I had my daughter and I was working in a warehouse and work. Another thing, they were like pushing school on us, like business classes and stuff. Like, you should do this, you'll get a promotion. And I did so much of that stuff and I became so cold. And I remember like remarkably like, okay, movie stuff, I'm putting it under the rug. Screw it. It's unfortunate as it is. I was not built for this world and I have to give this thing up, at least for the time being. Maybe when I graduate with a business degree, I'll be able to pay for something. So I went to school and I was
That's when
like,
the lid shut on the pressure cooker.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
like, I'm going to put this here and it's going to.
someday. And it's always been floating in the back, it's like it's
Yeah.
back there, like in space. And I went to school and I aced some classes, did really good. And I became just real cold and I was just mean and all this stuff. I was reading all these awful books, like How to Win Friends and Influence People, all of these stupid. I'm sorry, I'll go on a
No.
tangent. Some of those books, they're like these weird self-help books, which the company I worked for had a library, and I was the only person that ordered books, and they would come in my mailbox at work, and I would read them at work. And a lot of it was like, hey, the tactic is to make people think you care about them so that they will work for you and do good things for you. It's very selfish, very manipulative. And I was just, even in that moment, I'm like, why don't you just learn how to actually care about people and love
Just
people
be kind. Yeah.
and just like fully love people, and then everything else will take care of itself. Like, why is there this weird, I need something from you deal? Anyways, long story short, got a email from Ethan Hawke, actor, director, who wanted to make a movie about my great uncle, who was a musician, who was murdered back in the 80s, sticking up for a buddy of his. And he wasn't famous, but his music, some of his songs were covered by Willie Nelson and
Oh, wow.
John Prine and Merle Haggard. And so his music, since his death, has built this cult following over past several years. And my family, we own the rights to his music and stuff. Well, Ethan Hawke was a fan and wanted to make a movie about him, just a low budget kind of indie film about him. And that opportunity presented itself in the midst of me being at school doing all these classes. And I was like, oh, wow, this is possible. So I got to go intern on the set. I called in sick, made up a whole bunch of excuses to get out of weeks of work.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah,
I
just
didn't know that.
I just kind of lied. I stretched the truth a lot. I don't lie. I hate lying, but I'm not missing this movie opportunity, you know. And it re-sparked me. And so I went and got to hang out with all these people, see how the process was. And that's where a lot of my stuff comes from. I didn't do film school. I just love movies, and I pay attention to what I see and stuff. And while we were on set, I asked Ethan, I was like, is there could I be in this somewhere? Could you put me in the movie somewhere? And he's like, yeah. He's like, maybe we could put you in this scene, like mowing the grass in the backyard or something. And I was like, that's good enough for me. You know, it's not a speaking role, but I don't really care. And it wasn't that scene. It was a scene that we went and filmed at a closed, abandoned wing of a old hospital. And we went in this wing, and they're like, do you want to be an orderly in the hospital? And I'm like, yeah. So I got to go to the trailer, the costume trailer, which was a little tiny trailer. And the costume designer, we found my size of scrubs. And I had a name badge. My character had a name, and I cannot remember what it was. Sadly. But my first scene in a movie was I'm in this scene. It's a wide shot. I'm only in it for like 3 seconds. And Chris Christopherson is playing like my great, I guess it's like my great uncle. And the guy playing my uncle who was killed, Blaze Foley, was singing to him. And the lyrics of the song were like, I've given my life to Jesus. And that was my first scene in a movie ever. And I was 26 years old, which answered that prayer that I threw up in
before
high
you're
school.
28 or
yes.
by 28.
And so it was like, okay, here's this. It's this beautiful like portrait. The shot in the movie is this wide shot. And I'm just right there in the middle, blurry, can't even see me. But that was it. And so that's something, that's like a love letter that I have. It sparked me back into the movie thing, and I dropped out of college immediately. And
I didn't know that detail either.
Yeah, oh yeah, I've dropped out of college
You're
3 times.
That was it.
Dropped out 3 times. But you know, whatever. It's just I wasn't being honest. Not that college is a bad thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not me. It's not my thing.
Yeah. Well, I think that's something that everyone goes through in different capacities, and
Yeah.
it's more of just how much do we embrace that, and how much do we pay attention to those things that we're doing, because it happens on large scale, you know, the big decisions that we make, jobs that we take, all the way down to like small micro choices that we make day to day.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's I think that's personal opinion, but like whenever you're called or it's part of your path to create something like really honest and true, I think you will be faced with a lot of that. And it anchors different parts of you.
It does. Yeah. And it anchors the real you.
Yeah.
In a sense, if you have this allegiance to it, to like the truth and to honesty.
Mm-hmm. Well, it made me think of something else. So you were talking about like the books that you were reading and how that was shaping you. And my brain immediately was like, and then you go and create a film with no budget, and there's people involved. And I think like I'm kind of getting into this myself right now. So maybe that's why it's pinging for me when you're talking. But I feel like when you go to collaborate with people, or when you go to like invite people into what you're doing, obviously if you're making a film, you are not playing every part.
Yeah, right.
There are people involved. And I don't know if you've experienced this, but something that I personally experience is like when I'm reaching out or like I'm looking for collaborators or whatever, it's like there's this internal thing in me that's checking myself, like, what place am I coming from?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to come across, and I don't want to do what I've seen other people do, where they're only seeking those collaborations or whatever to like get something.
To benefit
I'm like, no. Like I
Yeah.
truly just want to create this thing.
Yep.
Or like I truly see like what you're great at, and I want to highlight that. Like it
Yeah.
has nothing to do. So like
Yes.
how did those two things work together for you? Like producing the film and then
Hmm.
like bringing people on, like
Yeah.
because I
Yeah. I don't know. My whole change in my everything with the movie stuff, and then with these, like I said, the religious experiences. I've had some crazy, wild things that have completely changed me from who I used to be, and my priority became like love yourself, forgive yourself, and heal from that. Have grace on yourself for everything you've messed up at or missed. But then, I mean, just a real conscious like teach. I need to know how to love people purely and fully, and just value them. And I know like what I've lacked, I can give that. Like what you were saying earlier, is like if you don't have it for yourself, like if it's something you can give, then give it. If it's something you didn't have, or be that for somebody else, and that's part of the strength of that. But that's something I squared away without movie stuff. I did have to sacrifice the movie stuff, even like we're just reshuffling my priorities with like, well, who am I as a person existing in this world? What is life about? God, which God and Jesus and all these things have so many. That means a million different things to a million different people, and most of it's not good, you know?
mm,
To a lot of people, it's just like turns off people. But squaring that away, like what is the force, the creative being? Is there a creative being, that kind of thing? And I had to square that away. And I've had dreams and stuff, and had visions, of Jesus. It's weird saying his name because it has so much attached to it. But
mm-hmm,
when I see him and when I feel him, it's like his fingernails are dirty, his hair's messed up. He's been busy, but he just doesn't care that he's a mess. And I'm
mm,
just this beautiful. This beautiful artist
mm,
that is not all about like Christian music or gospel music. He loves heavy metal. Like, he loves everything, and he's the fullness of expression itself. And when I came to that realization, like all this stuff that I've been feeling, that I want to express, like you're that. You're the fullness of it, and you love everybody, and everybody that has that, whatever they're supposed to do, it's like squared away with him, and like it's put there for a reason. And even when they
mm,
say he's more than he's just all of it. But having that and seeing the way that he saw me, I could see that too, and it just about broke my heart in the coolest way. And he's pure humility, and there's none of that weird judgment. I'm gonna smack you kind of thing. Zero of that at all. And that changed my life and the way that I view other people. And so with the movie in particular,
mm,
I do protect the culture of it. I protect our cast and crew and our people and our culture. So if I invite somebody a part or a role, one, it's because I'm pulled towards it, but I see it in them. Like my friend Gordon, I'm like, I wanted to give him something that honors him and that expands his talent,
mm-hmm,
or that stretches him and puts him in something he can really chew on and enjoy, but also
mm-hmm.
something that he can have to show people. Yeah, God, sorry, it gets me thinking about it.
No, I think it's awesome.
I'm about to just
Well, it's go ahead.
no. I'm sorry. It just like I want them to have that, and I don't require anything from them. I like purely want people to step into who they're supposed to be and to have something to show for it. And you can feel it when it's real too. There's so much fake out there, and so many people romanticize like money or whatever it is, and it's just kind of for the wrong reasons. But um, yeah, it's like just be an agent of like wholeness and goodness and love and support, and require nothing from it, and just and don't sell out, and just be a
And
source.
people said yes to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're reciprocating the same thing that you're doing with them.
Yeah. That's true. And it makes it real. It makes it like tangible and real when you do that for somebody. It's like, oh, that exists in the world. It just makes it believable. There's so many things that are scams, and people do want stuff from you. And yeah, but
Yeah.
sorry, I get it.
Well, no, I just know, like, I can only imagine. I know I've said this in other places and other ways, but like I really feel for what you're doing
Yeah.
because it's like every piece of the puzzle has its own meaning to you.
Yeah.
So as the pieces are coming together, it's like compounding that experience.
Yeah.
It's like, and I don't even know all of the stories, but I've met some of the cast, and I know your
Yeah.
brother, or like, hearing other people's experience of what you're doing, I
Yeah.
can only imagine what it would feel like to watch it come to fruition,
Yeah.
like knowing all those little pieces along the way. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
of course, you're having that reaction. If you weren't,
Yeah.
I would, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Maybe
you
just
good?
real sneaky. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But that means everything to me too. The stories and the people, and like you coming on board as well. And just the fact that it's impactful, and it impacts me. It's like it cuts both ways across the board. It's just incredible. And it's a massive love letter just to art, and yeah,
Yeah.
honesty's been the word I've been, calling it. But
So, wait a second. So, where did you get the idea for Chip and Charlie and
yeah.
the legend of the like
Yeah.
where did it come from?
Yeah. Well, Chip and Charlie, I've always wanted to make a movie. I never locked on to the exact thing that it was that I was going to do.
Mhm.
And Jake and I was just it was just a wave of like, oh, I'm bored. What are we need to do something funny or fun or something. And Jake called me and said, why don't we do like a news anchor kind of thing? And I'm like, we're like, yeah, most, people have done that before, but we could do something fun with it. Let's just go get some fake mustaches and go sit down and just wing it and see what comes out. And we went at the Innovation Pipeline is where we went and booked a room there before I worked there. We had a little membership there, and we went into that studio and sat down. And I have a picture somewhere of us just sitting there with these fake Halloween store mustaches on and
Mhm.
just our normal civilian clothes. And we're just kind of sitting there like, it's like, all right, let's go. What's your name? And he's like, Charlie. He's like, what's yours? I'm like, I feel like Chip right now. Let's do Chip. We came up with these characters in the studio that day and started doing these, just playing off each other's demeanors coming up. And it was originally like a local TV station. And then we
Mhm.
turned it like, well, it'd be fun it'd be better if it was a talk show and you bring people from all walks of life in. It just expands the creative opportunity rather than being a local news station.
Mhm.
So we did that. And then we started filming episodes with like our cell phones and just doing these crappy green screen backgrounds. And then we invited a couple of friends on to be guests on the show and stuff. And we just started having fun making stuff. And then I was at work, and one of my buddies, he's a movie buff, more so than I am. And he would be an incredible producer or something. If he listens to this, he knows I'm talking about him. He would be incredible. We were talking, he watched the Chip and Charlie stuff, and we would just talk about potential episodes and everything. And there was a hot sauce. We worked at a grocery company. There was a hot sauce called Swamp Dragon something. And there was a little like lizard on the front of it. And I was like, it's, we joke about it. It's like, get some of that Swamp Dragon sauce or something. And it was also getting towards Halloween. And I always liked, my favorite cartoon growing up was Scooby-Doo, like the original Scooby-Doo.
Okay.
Not the very first one. The other ones are kind of, it got famous and they kind of corrupted. I love the classic old stuff. And I thought, what if Chip and Charlie had a Halloween episode, 30 minutes long, just like a Scooby-Doo episode, and it's the monster's a swamp dragon. Maybe some other day we'll do like a ghost, or maybe we'll do like we had all these ideas. And it was going to be a bad guy that gets unmasked, like just a straight up Scooby-Doo episode. And we started filming it as an episode. I was back, like I had long hair back then, like down to my
Yeah.
shoulders.
I saw.
And we went and filmed it, and we had matching shirts, and it was a mini episode. And then it's more things started to tack onto it. And I'm like, maybe there's like a TV movie. Maybe there's like an hour-long thing. And then it's like, no, this might actually be an actual movie. And so I wrote it. During that time frame, I was writing it thinking, all right, what do we have access to? What, like budget-wise, like what can we do? And I was like, well, we can't do this, can't do that. And then I had this epiphany. Felt like God's like, hey, scrap all that. Write the full story you want to write, and then we'll figure it out. So like, don't hold back. So then it turns into like an army of skeletons and all just crazy wild stuff and just characters. And that lit me up writing it. I didn't know how we were going to do it. Started going. And I've never been good at asking for money, never, none of that stuff. So I was like, we'll just figure it out. And then just along the way, over the past several years, I would encounter people. I was like, Gordon has to have a part in it. I got to find Gordon's place in this. And it had to be good. It had to be for the story, not just to put Gordon in. It had to be something good. And then I met some other people at the pipeline, Mac, Fred,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, oh, it's so cool. I want to be like, if there's a part for me in there, you know? And I trust them. I trusted everyone that's in the movie. I trust, and I'm like, they're safe and they're in it for the right reasons.
Yeah, they're gonna show up
And
and they're gonna treat it. And
yes, and so I would sit down and incubate on like, who is this person in this world? Who could they be? And I write them. Anyways, over the years, meeting these people, the stories become so seasoned. But when I found out it was a movie initially, it was very bare bones and simple. And then over the course of time, it's like, oh yeah, this person. And even the setbacks I've had, looking back, have been good because we could have finished it like a year ago and it would be lacking so much. Technology's evolved. I've met more people. There's one, we're almost done filming it, and there's one more scene that I wrote for an actor, like an actual actor, and we talked about it if he could be in it, and he wasn't able to get it with his schedule. And I wrote the scene for him, and it's incredible. It adds this tremendous amount of pressure to the whole movie, just some stakes. And he said no, he couldn't do it, unfortunately, because he's so busy doing other stuff. And I was like, well, if you don't do it, that scene's for you. It's not going to be in the movie. And then I was thinking about it. I was like, no, that's a good scene. It belongs here. Oh, I'll just do it. So I'm going to play a role and act with myself, and I'm going to film it by myself as sort of I figured out how to do it. And so I had like a bunch of prosthetic makeup come in the mail yesterday. So it's going to be a whole thing.
I can't wait to see this.
And I think that's the last one. But even with the skeletons and stuff, I figured out how to do it. And strategically, where I was even at work, we had these 3D printers. So I started designing and 3D printing skeletons. And I thought, well, if you coat these things in latex, it'll look like flesh. You can paint them, just these little things. And it's like,
Yeah.
And the only thing that really matters, I've heard people say this before, but I've actually experienced it, is like what is on that screen is the only thing that matters. And the audience doesn't have a grid for, oh, you're in your garage, or they don't know that. Or that's a miniature set. Sometimes you can tell, which adds to the novelty of it. But yeah, the skeletons, there's some monsters in it, which we sculpted out of clay and like cast the stuff in rubber and painted it. And the prosthetic makeup and stuff.
How
All
did you
that.
fund all of this? Is it just like passion
As
project?
I could, but there's so much stuff around, like in my house. There's so much household
You have
stuff.
prosthetic makeup in your house?
I have.
I'm just kidding. I know you just ordered it.
I ordered the prosthetic glue, which was like $10. Some of the makeup and stuff. But literally, like my daughter, I would go into her room. It's like, do you have one of those? You have like one of those squishy like ball things that has the beads in it? And she's like, let me see. She goes in her closet and she's like, this one? And she's like, or you want this one? I like that one. She's like, yeah, all right. I was like, you mind if I destroy it or use it for something? She's like, no, what are you making? Like, a frog? She's like, yeah, you can use it. Just little stuff that's around the house.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like yarn for hair.
Those little squishy ball things are all over my house.
Yeah, it's a trend. Yeah, fidgets.
My youngest loves those. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure there's not one right
behind you. Yeah,
I'm surprised
pop
there's not.
tubes.
Yeah.
Pop tubes is another one. But there's a lot of stuff around the house. Like I didn't go, and the camera I purchased. I think I had like a what is it called, like a 401k account where I used to work, and I used all that to buy a camera. And then I sold that camera for this camera, and I had the camera before we started this movie. You know,
that's how I bought my laptop.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't my entire, but I was a teacher briefly.
Yeah.
And I used that TRS money when I quit.
Yeah.
I pulled that money out and I bought my laptop, and otherwise I wouldn't have been able to do any of the things I've done in the past,
I understand that. Yeah, I totally understand that. You weaponized yourself and you equipped yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. So I get all of those things that you're describing.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, it's cool. It's like, I think for so many people, they have that big idea like you're talking about. You know, you're talking about that that point where it changed for you, and it's you first started writing a script based on what you thought you had access to
Yeah.
or what was possible with this kind of view, which we all do that at some point,
Yeah.
right? And then it was like this epiphany of, what if I just wrote the script in its fullness and we'll figure it out as we go?
Yeah.
And that opened up a whole world for you of expression. And you were talking about, even bringing in the different characters, and you learned different pieces along the way.
Yeah.
Like you said, like you incorporated like 3D printing, or like it's just, I just think it's so wild. And I wanted to highlight that, especially for anyone who does watch the movie.
Yeah.
It's like every moment, every scene, every little piece is that in your life.
Yeah.
It's something that you had to learn, figure out.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know if you, well, I'm sure you would agree. This is how I feel when I do stuff like that, but it's so rewarding.
Yeah.
It's like, I made this.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, I think for me, I have huge, visions and ideas
Yeah.
and things that I'm like, oh yeah, future me will do that. Well,
Hmm.
future me had to get on board with current me real quick of
Yeah.
like, what can I do now? And even if it's, this version of it,
Yeah.
maybe it looks like this right now. Whenever you start stepping into that and bringing those things into your reality, or like teaching myself how to mix and master, or it's like
Yeah.
opens up so much more space. And I feel like it takes a lot of that pressure away, that feeling of like, well, I can't do it because
Yeah.
I don't have resources.
Right.
Well, you are the resource.
Yes.
Or
100%.
in a sense, like,
Yeah. Yes.
we're not always given the provision at the same time that we're given the thing to do.
Yeah.
It's like you have to just go and
Yeah. Just
do
do
what
it.
you can. Yeah.
Be messy and just do it. Yeah. And there's something cool about that that pressure of like not having resources when you just lock in and you stew on it or whatever. Like you'll find out that you do have the means to do it. You'll find it if it's who you are and you're about it and stuff. There's something there. There is something there you can do, and it is, wow, what a relief that is too. Like looking back, it's like, why are you asking money for this or that? I didn't ask for money, but like people, I've started just like communicating with other people too that I don't know in the film industry and stuff, like independent filmmakers, and people are like trying to raise this so we can make this. And, I had this poor girl on I think it was like Facebook or something, said, I want to be in a horror movie. If anybody needs me, I'm here. And I thought that was cool. And people were shooting her down. Like, well, you can't do that. You have to have a resume, and you have to have reels. And I never get into any sort of arguments or anything. It's a waste of time. But
Online.
But I went into this and I said, ignore these people. Like, you can do what you want to. Thanks for asking. I'm a filmmaker. I thought about reaching out to her and saying, no, publicly, like, hey, I'll get you here and prove these people wrong. Not that those people are bad. There are these grids and people just accept as like absolutes, and it discourages other people, and it's like a goalie that blocks them from doing stuff. And it's not easy to grow out of that, especially, when you're growing up, everything's kind of set in place for you.
Yeah.
But I love breaking those walls down for people. I love that.
Yeah. I feel like that exists no matter what industry or field you're in. It's like the whole thing where you go to apply to jobs and it's like you need 10 years of experience.
Yeah.
And you're like, cool, I'm 24. Like, I'm not 24, but you know what I mean? It's like people put all these, well, you have to have all of these things to be this.
Yes.
And it's like, I feel like it's so limiting to people who are just this. Like, they are just naturally this. They want to go that direction. Or it's the same thing in like applying to gigs or art shows. There are so many things I've been turned down from.
Yeah.
Because I don't have over 1,000 Instagram followers. And I'm like, it doesn't matter that I have songs that have over like 13,000 streams.
Yeah.
Or like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's people fixate on like this one thing that they think qualifies you.
Yeah.
And I get like the whole credibility and like
Sure.
having experience to pull from, but there's so many different ways to measure and see that. And
I know.
sometimes people just need one opportunity or just
I know it. That,
a little faith.
Little faith, yeah.
Faith, trust, and pixie dust.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. It was just, I mean, even what you're doing too with your music. Like whenever I heard your music, it's quality. The whole, everything about it's quality, and it's coming from an honest, real place. Even just the lyrics and the wording and the messages and the questions in your songs hit because it's so real. And that goes eons farther than obviously any sort of followers or anything like that. And that'll stand the test of whatever.
Thank you. Well, honestly, I had to put myself in that headspace because I think for me, like one of my biggest challenges is letting you talked earlier about the different voices that you come up against and the choices that you make because of what people are saying to you. Like that's always been a big one for me is like, I know what's popular or what's trending or what works for other people.
Yeah.
And me doing that would be dishonest.
Yeah.
Would be inauthentic for me. And so I made a deal with myself years ago. I want to learn how to be what it is that I know I'm capable of with what I have available to me and not worry about how that's working for everybody else. And it's that same experience. I think this is why we relate, because it's like in the beginning, nobody knows what the heck you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or like whenever I was learning, I mean, there were years, it's just like how you talked about where you and your brother were making episodes before this thing became a film.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there were years where, I mean, I have so many songs that it's like I would get an idea and I'd start playing with it or experimenting with different, whatever what I was doing was learning. I was learning about myself, my voice, my style, my preferences, my genre, and if someone were to look at me in those years and say, "Oh, you're never going to make it cuz you can't finish a song. Like what do you have all these unfinished songs for? Or you're not going to go anywhere. No one's listening to this." Like that time was crucial for me. It's like I had to do that so that now whenever I get an idea for a song, it takes me about I can go in there, get it rolled, like turn on. And also I feel like there's so many people, blogs, whatever, which, I mean, this may not be as big of a deal in 2025 as it was in 2013, but it's like, oh, you have to have this equipment and you need a studio and so it's like there were so many things that my brain saw people saying, like, you have to have all of these things for it to work. And I'm like, I don't have a studio. I don't have a soundboard. I literally have a laptop, a keyboard. I saved up money and bought Ableton one year. I used like Christmas money. Like, and then I have a mic. Like that's it. You just keep going. You keep learning. And so it's, and then I remember like, this is another one of those things, but whenever you're releasing your work, there are industry standards, right? And there are producers who know what the industry wants and they are pushing for that. And so they will take the song that you created and they will put their spin on it or bring it up to what's popular, what's trending right now. And so something I went through in the past was like, I was working on a song and I was trying to get it to sound the way I hear it in my head. Because when I hear a song, it's like, it's already in my head. I'm just trying to like,
express
pull it out of me. But it's like I couldn't get it just right, and someone took some of my music and they changed it. And at that time, because of what they thought, if it had this beat
or some so okay,
I want to kind of like a audio person that I experienced working with, but it's like, if it had this beat or it would fit this genre, if it had this, or if it did that, or it's missing this, but like, I loved it the way it was. I listened to it that way. Like I appreciated it. And I was so young and not used to standing up for myself or saying like, actually, no, that's not what I want. I don't care what is the popular trending song right now. Like that's not what I'm writing. And so I went with it anyways. And what that did, like, just, I know it's small, But for me, it was huge
Yeah.
because it's like I ended up putting something out into the world that's like not who I am and not
Yeah.
what I'm trying to write. And that just that feeling and knowing like this is not it.
Yeah.
I took them down. I unreleased them
Yeah.
because it's like this isn't true. And so I made a deal with myself that
Hmm.
I would not release anything again unless I knew like this is 100%, this is me. And
Yeah.
so I don't think that it's a coincidence that in that process I've learned every part of what it takes to do that.
Yeah.
And now I am the team,
Yep.
right? It's like I'm the audio, I am the producer, I am the vocal recording artist. Like
Yeah.
I'm mixing it, mastering it. There's no other person.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, 10 years ago, me would have been like, you're going to produce an album for free? I thought you had to have like $10,000 and do a
Yeah.
GoFundMe. And I'm like, no, actually, you just had an epiphany one day that like, wait, I
Yeah.
can do this
Yes.
myself
Yeah.
and I'm going to. And then it's like that lit something. And does it take a while? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there's like so many other things, and it's like I can't be only in here all day every
Yeah.
day. Like, but anyway, sorry to like go on a whole
No, that's
tangent, but
good.
I hear like when you're talking about these things, it's like that's what I know for me as someone who's felt very like isolated or lonely on the path.
Yeah.
It's so awesome to like hear your story of like how you created what you did, how the idea evolved, how it started like this, and that was
Yeah.
very formative to where you are now. And
Yeah.
it's like that is it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a big tapestry of like, oh, that was purposeful. There was so much meaning in that. But even like you with your music and stuff too, look at what you've gained from it. I don't know. Like you, even like in the future, moving forward, if you end up having somebody that you trust mixing it or
Yeah,
getting to a point, it's like you understand that process so deeply
right.
that,
That's the conversation I have with myself is like now I'm at the point where I know so clearly like what it is that
yeah,
I'm working on and doing that if I do give it to someone, I'll be able to say like, okay, here's the vision, like
yeah,
this is the direction, like or if someone that I feel already aligns with that and I can be like, okay,
yeah,
like have some fun. I want to
right.
hear what you got because it's already what I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's been a evolution for sure.
yeah. It's cool. I guess it's an exchange of time and pressure and stuff. Even learning
Yeah.
how to do that and get to super thankful for it though, for sure.
Yes.
Like the music and stuff. And now you're like you said, a formidable is the word I would use, not in a bad confrontational way, but just like a force. You know,
Thank you.
it's cool.
Thanks. It's cool to hear that because that's how it feels.
It's it.
Like when I'm
It's what it
doing it.
is. Yeah, that's what it is. And the song that you made for the movie too, it's incredible. I listened to it. I don't like on repeat.
Really?
Yeah, I
I like
did
it a
when
lot.
you
I was
sent it
surprised
over.
by it.
I sit and I just listen to it over and over again. And I'm listening. And I'm thinking. When I think about that stuff, like in the song too. I was just like imagine like the feeling as if I'm in the audience watching it and just hearing it on the speakers and all that stuff. I just kind of dream about that stuff and what people are going to experience a lot. I dream from their perspective, you
That
know?
is so interesting because whenever I don't ever talk about this, but I'll tell you. Whenever I work on music, I, I I try to position myself in my head of what an audience would hear,
Hmm.
and like I want it to feel not live because there's a difference in like a live recording
Yeah.
and a studio recording, but I don't know why, but there's something in my brain of like if it doesn't sound like a concert to me,
Yeah.
it's not there yet. And
Hmm.
I like put myself in the headspace of like where's the audience? What's this
Yeah.
going to sound like? So, I don't know, it's
It's
interesting to hear
cool.
you say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's where
but that song was a total surprise to me.
it was great and it fits and everything. Yeah. Thank you for doing that too. I don't,
Yeah, of
it's
course.
just a cool collaboration thing,
Yeah.
and it coming from you having that, yeah, I don't know. It's like over the decades, there are artists and there are things, there are new genres of music and of movies and stuff that kind of break through, and people catch stuff that I think is super timely. And if they're
Mhm.
faithful with it and consistent with it, I think it ushers in a new level of like freedom for the world. And I think that's kind of what this whole doing the whole thing yourself deal and demystifying the rules. I think it's breaking new ground for freedom for like other people, which is all for that.
That's
It's
cool.
exciting.
I'm glad. That's what I mean, again, it goes back to that same thing. It's like being what you needed,
Yeah, that's
you know?
true.
And you're
Yeah.
doing the same thing. That's how I see what you're doing. That's why I'm so excited about it. Like,
Yeah.
sorry if I just became your like biggest like cheerleader because well, again, it's like I understand.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a huge deal.
Yeah.
It's a huge deal. It's like I can't imagine everything that has gone into what you're doing. Well, I can imagine it, but that's it. It's
Yeah.
imagination. I'm not living it.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it. And I think other people
Cool.
should too.
Cool. Well, I
And they
appreciate
need to
that.
know.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah. So tell me what's left. So you have your scene where you're learning how to record with yourself
Yeah.
or shoot it with
Uh
yourself,
huh.
which
I'll be in the
that's
same frame and everything. It'll be fun, but
this is artistry in motion. You're
yeah,
learning as you go. I love
yeah,
it.
it's a stretch too because I'm playing a character that's just outlandish. I don't know what it's going to be, but I know I'm probably going to do it here and
Like where you're currently
where I'm
at.
currently at. I was sitting in here the other day and I thought this could be a fried chicken restaurant in my
Okay.
mind. Like I can to think about it. If you behind me over here, there's a window.
Mhm.
The lighting is already kind of what it should be, and there's also these fluorescent white lights. Anyways, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, what's in the frame? You know, what people are going to
Right.
see if I got some chalk that you write on windows with, and I made like a fried chicken ad
Sign on the
that's
outside.
yellow and red and has a chicken on it, and I draw one on that window back there. And there's some chairs here in a booth. I can make it look like, and I can color grade this wall to be red or
Yeah.
yellow. I can add it. I can season it with sounds of like people eating and stuff in the background. There'll be cars driving by. I had this idea, and then the character in that movie, he's been talked about ever since my brother and
Okay.
I made our characters. This guy has been talked about. Um, the whole just in the background, we just name drop him all the time, and we've always talked about, are we ever going to cast that? Is that ever going to be anybody? He's like, no, he's never going to show up. He's an entity. He's just like, he'll just never show up. And then this actor I had in mind, I thought, yeah, he'd be good. And I drew some concept art and sent it to him. I draw all the characters too, and I send him and come up with color schemes for him too. That's an interesting one. But yeah, so I'm just gonna do that here, basically.
Cool.
And anyways, I don't
And
want to
then
give too much
are
of it.
you yeah, I go. Are you so will this be visible? Like are you planning on releasing the film so people can
Yeah,
see it?
I think I've been just kind of go with where I'm led by inspiration. And if something hits me, I'll check it. Like, is this just like a wave of like I'm excited, or is this like a directional like, hey, it's time to do this? And I guess it was
Relate.
a week or two ago. Yeah, a week or two ago, I just popped in like a download. Like, all right, time to start stirring it up, building the stuff, releasing content, start marketing it, or whatever that is. I don't even understand marketing, but it's like time to start sharing things and getting people involved and seeing it. And so that's what I did about a week ago. It's like I just sat down and just made everything. And I have so much behind the scene. There's so much content that we've captured over the past couple of
Yeah.
years. And I'm like going through it, I'm like, oh, I'll never run out of stuff. And so just
Mhm.
had this download of like, well, August is going to be introduce some characters and some artists and just kind of show the trailer. And then September is going to be a big behind the scenes month. And October is going to be, it's Halloween month. So we're going to show off a lot of the creatures and stuff and some of the puppets and not
That's
everything,
cool.
but there's a process behind it. And so doing that and just making all that, it feels like I dozed off for a little bit and now I'm like here and I just magically made all that
Yeah.
stuff. It wasn't an effort to me. It was fun and it's scheduled to come out. And so that tells me I think there's going to be the premiere will be early next year. I'd say the first quarter somewhere. I'm not exactly sure yet. I have some directions, but the indicator of like, hey, it's time to start getting it ready, as if it's going to come out. So I think it'll be early
It's
next
like,
year.
I don't like this analogy, but my brain is going like birthing pains. It's like
Yeah.
you start feeling the
Yep.
pressure, the contractions. It's like, all right, it's coming.
It is, yeah. That's
Start
a
letting
good
people
analogy.
know.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it is. And it's also not a bad pressure, but it's like because there's an infinite
Well,
I'm
it's like
sure.
it's like a push. It's like there's
Yes.
this internal like, okay, like
And you
it's happening.
probably understand this too. Whatever you create could infinitely be like better or different. And if you don't stop yourself at some point and
Yes.
just release the thing, you'll just run around in circles and it is infinite. It will never.
I don't know what you're talking
Right.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the point like, all right, everything's good where it's at.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, and also something I have to tell myself literally daily
yeah,
is that I, like music example, I might have listened to this song 10 million times. And I know every little tiny whatever in it, and people are going to listen to it
yeah,
once.
right.
Some people listen to it more.
Yeah.
Some people put it on repeat, but they're not going to hear what I heard every iteration of the vocals or every time I changed the EQ
Yeah.
they don't know all that stuff.
Right.
And there's so much to take in.
Yeah.
Right. And also I've had to learn, like, not everyone is like psychoanalyzing music
Yeah.
all the time. You know how you said you like watch a film and you're always learning and you're watching and you're kind of taking notes. My brain is like that with music, like any music I'm listening to. It's like I'll notice this small thing and I'll get all excited and I'll tell my friend, I'm like, oh, listen to this, I did this thing and it makes me think of this rap song that came out in like 1982. And she's like, what? How do you what are you talking about? And then I'll play the reference I'm talking about and she's like, oh, I can hear that one sound that sounds like that. But like my brain stores all that information.
Yeah.
No, other people aren't gonna see all that or hear all that, and they're gonna appreciate the whole. It's like you said, what's in the frame.
Yeah, that's true. And perspective. Yeah, it's easy for us to get sucked into it or lose perspective on it.
Yeah, and I think like right now, like the song I'm currently working on, I'm almost laughing at myself because past versions of me probably would have redone the vocals like 5 times by now.
Yeah.
But current me is like, Caitlin,
that's cool.
We're gonna put this out.
Yeah.
Like you're a human. You are not working with a $1 million audio engineer. You're doing this. Like, let's go.
Man,
like you have more to do. Like, it's fine.
Yes.
It's fine.
1,000%.
Anyways, I know you get it.
Well, no, that's you just highlighted another, like, it made me think of something else too. When it comes to other, music or producers or kind of like you have to have this and this and this. So much of what's out there right now is so, like, I love movies. I can't go to the movies anymore. I just can't. There's no,
it's not real.
It ain't real. And it's so perfect and polished. And like, I can look at a movie and it's like, oh, somebody went to film school and there's this beautiful, like they have the number of I don't remember what it's called, but however you measure light, like it's a 1700 and they're using this specific lens and like, it's so perfect and polished and cookie cutter that there's zero humanity in it.
Yeah.
And something that helps me, even when there's a messy shot that's not in focus, or if like there's a backpack hanging on the tree in the background because we forgot to take it out of the frame, there's a level of humanity to it that authenticates it and allows you to let go of it easier. It's like, of course we made it. People made this, and the dirt in it, and if you can see like a seam in the outfit or whatever, it's just like, of course, there's humanity there.
Yeah.
And it's almost
I remember
better.
like years ago when I started selling paintings and stuff, this was a long time ago, but I would paint chairs. Like I would get antique chairs and paint them. And then that kind of morphed, and then I started doing canvases, and then I was doing quotes, and I would work so hard to make it perfect. Like the lettering, And I don't even remember who it was, but I just remember one day telling someone, like, I kept painting over it because I wanted it to be perfect. And they were like, but then it wouldn't be handmade.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want it to look mass produced. You don't want
Yeah.
it to look printed. You want it to look like handwriting. So why do you keep?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. And that was
Yeah.
before, well, we talked about this, but that was before I went through that whole, like, what is me? What is honest? What is
Yeah.
authentic? Like, of course, now I don't even do the handwriting stuff. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
but still, it was like part of that unraveling. And
Huh.
it's just, there's so many layers of that no matter what you're creating. And
Yeah.
it still creeps up. But yeah, I think when you get to the point that you're laughing at it and you're like, yeah, leave it. This is
That's a
great.
good place.
It's fun. I don't know. Maybe there will be a turn of events in the future
Yeah.
where appreciation will circle back around for
Yeah.
humanity. I know technology is cool and what we can do with it. It's a tool.
Sure.
And sure, it can make polished stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm more interested in being real. And
I think so. I think everybody's kind of hungry for that. I think that's where it's going. I don't like follow trends or anything, but I think there will be a kind of a callback to authenticity. And it's so loud. Everything is so loud. There's so much golly ads and just so much noise everywhere.
yeah.
I think there'll be I don't know what you'd call it, migrate back to reality and authenticity and humanity. I think. If not, whatever.
Yeah.
It'd be okay.
I hope so.
I do too.
Well, I have one further question for you. It's loaded.
Yeah, hit me.
So let's say there's someone listening to this. They're in the middle. They've started something. Nobody can see it yet.
Yeah.
They're working on it and it's going to take time. What do you think they need to hear?
Yeah. Sweet. Well, one thing I would tell you is if you're not hearing it, one thing is check the honesty, like prioritize, like, who are you? Like, get that squared away fully. And then once you figure that out and you have that compass and you just lock into that, and you'll know, because one thing, it just lights you up. It brings you joy and inspiration. But if you're in the middle of that and it's like, I'm alone, nobody understands this, I don't even know if it's going to work, this may not pay off, I don't want to like exist anymore, I'm not built for this world. If any of that stuff kind of pops in, you haven't heard it from anybody else, hear it from me. If you're listening to this, go for it. Like, fully go for it. Even if you don't see it, lock into it and be consistent with it and bring it here. If it weren't for you, a new thing would not exist in this world. And it's something unique to you that you can bring here. And yeah, if you ain't hearing it from anybody else, you're hearing it from me. And I mean it. Go for it. Fully, wholeheartedly.
Yep. Just do it.
Yep. Yep.
Somebody needs to, and there's a reason it's coming to you.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
And run with it. And then share it when you're done. Yeah.
Yeah. Let us see it.
Share it with the world. Share it with us.
Actually, yes. I'm just going to say this. If you're someone listening to this and this is you right now and you're in the middle of making something, tell us. I want to see it.
Yeah.
I want to know what you're working on. Let us know where we can find you and your work, what you're doing, and what is your middle right now. I think that, oh man, I wish I knew people years ago who were in the middle of their thing.
Yeah.
To talk to. And so if that's you right now and you don't have that, like, wherever this podcast, wherever you're listening to it, just let us know who you are.
Yeah.
Where you're at in the process, even if it's just like a quick, even if you can't share, just like, there's parts of the film that James can't sneak peek right now.
Yeah.
It's like, let us know.
Yeah.
It helps to not have to carry it all by yourself.
Definitely.
And be the only person. So.
And just talking to somebody. Sometimes it's good to just talk to somebody about it. There's something about vocalizing it. If you feel stuck or hopeless or whatever, just talk to somebody about it. A friend, even if they don't understand, it's good to talk about stuff. It demystifies its projection of how dark it seems, to talk about things, be open about it, be an open book.
I always like to identify, like, who are my 2 to 3 trusted people that even if they're not doing the same thing, or maybe they have no clue even what I'm talking about, they are at least giving space to listen and, like, you know what, I believe in you.
Yeah.
Because we need to hear that outside of us sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But yeah.
Well, James, thank you so much for joining me on Visionaries in Progress, the podcast experience. And let us know, like, where can we see what's going on with the film or hear any updates about your work? Where can we find you?
Yeah. Well, if I knew the tag thing, we got. I can send you the links.
Okay,
Swamp.
I can put the
It's under
links.
Swamp Dragon Film. Chip and Charlie, Legend of the Swamp Dragon. We're on like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and I have started sending like emails out for people to stay connected. It probably goes straight to spam folders, but
I got it.
did you?
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, I think I'm going to start writing just like thoughts and stuff about the movie too, and sending it out, encouragements, but also just like little thoughts and stuff like that. Just almost like a journal kind of deal, but also updates with what to expect. And there's some fun stuff coming up. But
I can't wait.
yeah.
I'm
Well,
excited.
thanks
Well,
for
I'll
having
put,
me on here too.
yeah, of
By the way, this is
course.
always pleasant and fun and enjoyable. Yeah, I hope
Yeah,
people.
we'll do it again
Yeah,
sometime.
for sure, for sure.
Well, thank you, James, and thank you for everyone tuning in, and we'll catch you next
Yeah,
time.
I'm not good at landing stuff.
No, I'm not
I was
either.
like that. All
No, it's
right.
okay. I'll cut it there. I
Okay.
can
Yeah.
edit
Yep.
everything.
I
Yeah.
understand that. Yeah. Stuff, but I have that.